the headlines, Kaduna State Government directs emergency action on diphtheria following the death of 6 children. Goods worth millions of naira lost as fire guts a section of the Tinkan port in Lagos. Former Minister of Aviation Stella Odua, others arraigned over alleged 5 billion naira fraud. And on the foreign scene, 1 killed, 3 injured in South Korean stabbing incident. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Trust News Update. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin the update in Kaduna, where following the death of at least 6 persons, mainly children, from a strange disease which appeared to be diphtheria, the Kaduna State Government has ordered an emergency action to stop further spread of the disease across the state. 12 others hospitalized following the outbreak of the disease in Kafanchang, Jema local government area of Kaduna State. Now, a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the State Governor, Muhammad Shehu, says the diphtheria disease deaths occurred in 3 wards of the local government area, including Takau, Kafanchang A and Kafanchang B wards. Shehu explains that the disease broke out 2 weeks after some residents started exhibiting symptoms as difficulty of breathing, fever, cough, general body weaknesses, sore throats, as well as swelling on the neck. The statement says the index case was a 4-year-old boy whose illness started on July 4th but died after 48 hours, while 5 out of 17 new cases later died within the 3 wards of Jema local government. 12 other cases are presently in admission in the hospital. Now, following the loss of lives in the affected communities, Governor Obasani has directed the State Ministry of Health to send an emergency team to investigate the cases and ensure the movement of affected cases to adequately equipped hospitals for proper management, active contact tracing, and intensive community sensitization in all affected communities and surrounding areas. And in Lagos, a midnight fire outbreak at the Terminal C managed by Port and Cargo Limited of the Tinkan Island in the state razed down property worth millions of naira. Though the fire had been put out, but one of the cargo handling equipment was completely destroyed as a result of the inferno. Witnesses say the only fire truck owned by the management of the terminal could not contain the fire when it started. They say that it took efforts from other terminals close by to bring the raging fire under control. However, no life was lost, but few personnel of the terminal sustained minor injuries while trying to put out the fire. The management of the port and cargo have not revealed the cause of the fire, but sources say the fire started from one of the cargo handling equipment close to the quay side while operations were on. Back here in Abuja, Jabi Motor Park in Abuja is recording low passenger traffic. Union members say fuel price hike left them with no option than to increase transport fares across board. Noel Sampson visited the park for a situation report.
The Jabi Motor Park is usually a beehive of activities with passengers coming to board vehicles for long distance travels. But the recent fuel hike has changed all that. The park is looking empty as few passengers who can afford the fares are seen waiting for the vehicles they are boarding to get the required number of persons to begin the journey. Taiwo Oshobu, who is the chairman of Bus Long Journey Bus Unit at the park, and he speaks on the low passenger traffic.
From 5:40 to 6:17 now, it's totally out of hand. No passenger. One motor can position for 3 days. No passengers. No passenger. For 3 days, no passengers. From here to Lagos, I think we are carrying 19,200 naira. Before the subsidy, we carry 15,000. After the subsidy, we carried 19,200 naira. Since it came to 617, we have not even increased.
However, passengers also have this to say concerning the low passenger traffic since the increment of fuel price.
Before, by this time, people will have been here, be traveling, but because of this increment of petrol, nobody wants to travel. If not because I came to Abuja to do some important thing, I won't come. Me too, I won't bother myself to travel because I know it will cost me a lot.
The cost of transportation will definitely reduce. People will now consider, instead of them traveling regularly, someone that is traveling every week, the person might decide to extend it for 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so it depends.
Small business owners at the park are also lamenting low patronage owing the low activities.
That don't affect my market now. You see me for shop, sit down for shop. If you say like before, I'm busy. I don't have time to stay one place.
Well, thank God. I won't say I don't make more sales as I used to, but honestly, before now, I make more sales. Transport fares were doubled when the fuel subsidy was removed, but the second bomb price hike may further change the dynamics at this motor park. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In other news, the organized labor in Oyo State has warned of an imminent industrial strike action if issues bordering on its welfare are not urgently addressed. The group made the call in Ibadan during an emergency congress to address matters affecting the welfare of its members, especially with the increment in the pump price of petrol. While addressing newsmen, the chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress in the state, Comrade Kayode Martins, says the union feels the excruciating pains of Nigerians in the face of the removal of fuel subsidy, with a clarion call on the government at all levels to put the interests of ordinary Nigerians on the front burner. The Labour wants authorities there to address issues bordering on salary deductions, palliative for workers, continued payment of pensions, formalization of recently promoted state workers, and continued payment of retired workers' gratuities, or risk a total shutdown from July 24th.
The effect of subsidy removal as is being done in all other states. The cost of living has gone up and it has really made life difficult for the entire masses. As of today, we can tell you that workers find it difficult to resume at the respective offices because of the financial hardship. So we demand that all these things be done between now and Monday morning. Otherwise, we can no longer guarantee industrial harmony in the states.
UC and NLC, we have made our position on this known properly. We were never against the removal of fuel subsidy, but we were saying that while you want to do that, there must be consultation and on how it will be done in such a way that it will have human face to it, in such a way that it will not make life very terrible for people. Just 48 hours ago, it was 500 naira. Today now, it is 600, 700, and the prices are going up. So we were not against fuel subsidy removal, but we have asked the government, let's come together to see how life will be better for the people while you do what you want to do.
Now, former Aviation Minister Stella Odua and others on Friday pleaded not guilty to a 5 billion naira fraud charge preferred against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Odua and 8 others were arraigned by the EFCC before Justice Iyang Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Justice Eko fixed the date after counsel that appeared for EFCC, Hassan Liman, SAN, prayed the court to allow the defendants to take their plea, having filed the charge against them since December 17, 2020. Others arraigned alongside the ex-lawmaker who represented Anambra North Senatorial District during the 9th National Assembly were Gloria Odita, Nwosu Emmanuel Namdi, and Chukuma Irene Chinyere. Global Offshore and Marine Limited, Tip Top Global Resources Limited, Crystal Televisions Limited, Sobora International Limited, and others were also arraigned. Stella Odua was arraigned on alleged 5 billion naira fraud and financial misappropriation while she served as minister during the Jonathan administration. In the 25-count charge borders on conspiracy, money laundering, and maintaining anonymous bank accounts with a commercial bank. Now, the absence of 3 witnesses on Friday stalled the hearing in Abba Yusuf of the new Nigeria People's Party NNPP's opening defense at the Kano State Election Petition Tribunal. The APC is challenging the declaration of Yusuf of the NNPP as winner of the gubernatorial election that was conducted on March 18 this year. Now, the respondents in the petition are INEC, Yusuf, and the NNPP. And when the petition was called, counsel to Yusuf, Eitayo Fatigun SAN, told the court that the 3 witnesses they had called were absent. Counsel to INEC, Emmanuel Osayomi, and counsel to the NNPP, John Olushola SAN, did not oppose the prayer. And the counsel to the petitioner, Ofyong SAN, also did not oppose the request for an adjournment by the second respondent. The petitioner had on July 15 closed its case after calling 32 witnesses, while INEC closed its case on Thursday without calling any witness. Justice Oluyemi Akintan Osadebe adjourned the matter until Saturday for the NNPP to open its case. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Cattle market traders lament low patronage. We have details of this and many other stories coming up ahead. That's great. It's good to see you. Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us or staying with us on the news update. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. The Kaduna State government has directed emergency action on diphtheria following the death of 6 children. Goods worth millions of naira have been lost as fire guts a section of the Tinkan port in Lagos. Now, most streets in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, remain in a dilapidated state, especially during the rainy season. Jimmy Azande reports that residents continue to express their concern, calling on the Hyacinth Ali administration to act fast, as many communities will be cut out of the rest of the state capital.
Whenever it rains, Makurdi streets and roads in the state capital become death trap for motorists like this popular new Otukpo road. This is the situation in many other areas, as explained by some residents of Makurdi.
Especially during rainy season. If you come to Makurdi, the few streets that are tied, they are already spoiled. I don't know what the government is doing. Because Makurdi as a metropolitan city in Benue State need to have standard roads. That even the road constructed in Makurdi don't have standard. I think that's why when it comes to rainy season, water will spoil everything. Because Makurdi is in a valley. So if you are building a road where it is a valley, then you should know the standard you are giving to that road.
The road has been bad for so long, and government is not giving much attention on them. Government has neglected the local roads, especially the feeder roads in Makurdi. And when you will see that during rainy season, you will find it very difficult even to move from other even within the state, because if you see the condition of roads, they are very deplorable.
Some of the residents are, however, hopeful that Governor Hyacinth Alia will give the state capital a facelift.
It is very, very bad. When rains, you will not be able to at least trip to some places because of the bad position of some of the road. But I believe the government of Hyacinth Alia, and in collaboration with the government of Tinubu, will set everything in order. And Benue State too will look as if it's a state capital.
Apart from the flooding, some streets are now death traps due to total neglect or substandard construction in the past. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, traders at Nguru Cattle Market say the business is threatened by shrinking capital and low customer patronage from neighboring Chad and Niger Republic. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril, who recently visited one of the oldest cattle markets in Yobe, tells us more.
Hundreds of traders from across the Federal Republic of Nigeria and beyond attend this cattle market in Nguru local government area of Yobe State on weekly basis. Cattle and other domestic animals are traded here in large volume. Its popular camel market tells a story of how merchants from around the world are trading here for generations.
If I can recall, some 50 so years, people like Tubawa, Fulani, and the rest in the Niger Republic are used to this place very, very well. Because even now, you can find their children married to our people here. And we are, therefore, to be used to us is just simple. Because we share the same language.
But that was as far back as 1980, when the Kano Guru train service was in full operation. Today, traders say things are no longer what they were. Well, a lot of things have happened. If you look at this market, it is not what it used to be. This market used to be a hub of trading activities, especially for cattle and other domestic animals. Yet we thank God, because things are moving, we are still doing our businesses as usual. The lack of capital, recent security challenges courtesy of Boko Haram insurgency and banditry in some part of Nigeria's northwest region, as well as the nation's general economic hardship, are some of the factors responsible for the dwindling activities in this market. You know, we have so many people from different parts of the country that are coming into this market. During when we are having security challenges, we had a series of problems. But we thank God now things are getting better, even though we don't have enough capital to sustain the business. But with the recent improvement in security situation across Yobe State, traders say things appeared to have been getting better, and traders from all over the country are once again trooping here for business. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
Now, activities marking the 2023 edition of the Climate Emergency Day have begun across the world. The day, which is usually marked on the 22nd of July, among other things, urges people to take part in a minute silence to ponder how they can make changes to protect the planet. Habibat Ajayi tells us more.
The first declaration of climate emergency was made by a local government in December 2016. Since then, over 2,100 local governments in 39 countries have made climate emergency declarations as of May 2022. An international coalition of researchers says the Earth's vital signs have worsened to the point that humanity is unequivocally facing a climate emergency. For this year's day, the climate clock will tick down below 6 years for the first time to drastically reduce fossil fuel emissions to below 1.5 degrees century warning.
Research has shown that countries with huge debt burdens, such as Nigeria, is very vulnerable to climate change impact. And that is why we are very slow to respond to climate disasters, like the flooding of 2022 and even the flooding that has already taken place. We actually don't have the money, truth be told. So we need someone who understands financial flows to be the Minister for Environment.
However, climate activists are calling for a capable hands to handle climate finance in Nigeria, which is said to be among the least detractors in carbon emission on the global scale.
The climate clock is saying to us that we have just 5 years left for us to act, for us to plan. If we are not able to take care of climate impact that are ravaging our country at the moment, what happens when temperature goes above 1.5 degrees? It means that, I don't want to use the word we are finished.
Stakeholders are called to begin implementation of viable policies to prevent future damage within the stipulated time.
Nigeria, we have made some effort and we must commend ourselves and also the government for the effort that we have made, but it is not sufficient because, like you see with the clock just in front of me, we don't have time. The science of climate change tells us that we have up to 2030 to take action. So what we need to do right now is to move away from policy formulation to policy implementation.
Experts believe it is still possible to hold global warming to relatively safe levels through global cooperation, investment, and big changes. Hence, governments are urged to rise to the issue of climate change to ensure a better world for its citizens. Abibat Ajayi, Trust TV, Abuja.
In other news, the House of Representatives on Thursday took steps to stop the planned electricity tariff hike by distribution companies across the country. Consequently, the House urged the National Electricity Regulatory Commission not to approve any increase in electricity tariff in the country. This followed the adoption of a motion moved by Aliu Madaki from Kano, who recalled that DISCOs recently alerted customers of a planned electricity tariff hike hinged on the multi-year tariff order. Honorable Madaki noted that the circular issued by DISCOs stated that effective from July 1st, 2023, there will be an upward review of the electricity tariff influenced by fluctuating rates. Ruling on the motion after intense debate and loud voice vote in support, the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the plenary on Thursday, referred it to the Committee on Power when constituted, saying it was a utility.
If you look at the salary of an average Nigerian who owns a car, who has a house or rent a house, Mr. Speaker, in a house of 5 bedrooms today in Abuja, you don't pay anything less than 100,000 for electricity every month. And about 6 months back, without telling anybody, this same agency went and increased the price.
Infrastructure cost has gone up. Diesel cost has gone up on their side as well. How do we make them comfortable so that they can sustain the present rate regime? That is what we are requesting for, sir. That we find a way of bringing the NEC on board and the DISCO instead of having a fiat and saying don't increase permanently. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
If we are coming here to discuss on how to ensure that the prices are affordable to the common man, we have to find a way to ensure that the industry itself is not suffocated by undue regulation. We are asking for foreign investment to come and expand the industry. If we continue to fix prices and refuse to allow the prices to be competitive, and allowing the issue of willing seller and willing buyer to prevail in the industry, we will eventually kill that industry.
Us not to increase price. And the House rose in unison and say, no, allow them. Allow the market forces play out. We are faced with another issue that is similar to that. Private sector engagement, market forces against government position. It's a very nice debate, nice topic. Let's ventilate it a little bit.
And now to developments on the international scene. One person has been killed while 3 others sustained various degrees of injuries when a man went on a stabbing rampage near a subway station in the South Korean capital Seoul on Friday, according to a police statement, saying the attack took place near the Silim subway station in southwest Seoul, adding that the suspect had been detained by officers at the scene. The Yonhap news agency reported that the attack happened near exit 4 of the station. A video posted on local television station YTN's YouTube channel showed an orange-vested yellow emergency responders running towards the incident carrying stretchers. Eyewitnesses say the suspect stabbed a man who was talking on the phone in the back multiple times before running off and attacking more people. And in sports, Nigeria Super Falcons defender Nicole Payne has joined French club Paris Saint-Germain Femení. Now, Payne obtained a 3-year contract with the club. Now, the 22-year-old joined the former French champions from the University of Southern California. She scored 3 goals in 16 appearances for the University of Southern California last year. Payne expressed her joy after signing the contract. The versatile defender is the younger sister of Tony Payne, who is currently part of the Super Falcons squad at the ongoing 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Well, that's about it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms for more content and visit our website trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.